Hey there, it's Allison with Sing Write Create, and this is a little bonus video for this week. We're going to dive into this a little more next week, but I just want to do a little introduction to vowels and tone because to me these are some of the most powerful tools that we can use in singing, and it's also one of the ways that we have to drastically alter the way that we're used to using our speech patterns in order to really maximize our tone, the warmth of our voice, our control over our tone, whatever tone we're going for. So first, just this little trick that I learned that I love. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites to teach. It's not something a lot of people think about, and it has such a powerful effect on your tone, the presence of your tone, your enunciation, how much people can hear your words and understand them, and also the expression of your face. And the trick is simply to lift your cheekbones a little bit. So it's this concept of an inner smile. I think I've mentioned it in another video, but it's not a broad smile like this, because that kind of flattens everything out. But you can think of it as, sometimes I'll say, show your teeth, you know, the iconic images of singers who are really going for it, you know, they're like this. I literally see all of their teeth. So yeah, it's this concept that you're literally lifting kind of this plane of your face up to show your teeth. It's this inner smile. You're getting this lift in the cheekbones, and you'll notice I may feel very expressive when I'm talking like this. I might be feeling great sorrow or great joy. However, if I give a little lift into my face, it opens the face. It's like it opens the eyes, it opens the window to the soul. So that's the power from an expressive standpoint. From a physical standpoint, what it does is, if you've ever studied sound frequency, there's a low range, there's a mid range, and there's a high range. And the mid range, like on a soundboard, for example, if you're hearing, if you're listening to somebody talk, you can't understand what they're saying, it sounds muffled, you can boost that mid range frequency, and all of a sudden the tone kind of pops out. Our ears can really hear it well. So this little trick, what it does is it focuses your tone into a little bit of a more nasal place. It focuses it like this, and then it makes the sound pop. It gives it more focus. But it's subtle, so it doesn't make it super nasally. It's not like going from la to e. It's not like that. But it's going from la to la. So there's just more resonance. I'm still accessing all the other resonance, but I'm giving it this little boost. So this might feel really natural. Some of it depends on the shape of how your face is built, how the bones of your skull, and you know, what shape face you have. It might feel super weird. It might feel like completely unnatural. It doesn't look as extreme as it feels. I might share a video with you of a Broadway singer from Les Mis doing a TV performance where you can just see her utilizing this tool. It's kind of trippy if you're watching for it, how much she's using this to affect her tone and really go for the notes that she's belting. So yeah, I would just love to see every singer in the world employ this tool. You don't always use it. Sometimes you're singing quietly, sometimes you don't need it. But for notes that you're going for, if you're feeling kind of constrained or muffled in any way, this is like an incredibly powerful thing to practice. So play around with that physically when you're speaking, when you're singing, this idea of this inner smile, like maybe there's two little lines tugging on your cheeks, lifting them up, like your canines are showing, you're showing your upper teeth a little bit, and see if it changes your experience with singing. So the second topic is vowels. Equally as important. So in those long tones that we did, ma, me, mi, mo, mu, part of the purpose of those is to really get used to practicing a long, pure vowel. So in English especially, we have a lot of diphthongs, meaning, for example, the biggest culprit in my experience is the vowel I. We use I all the time. We say I when we're singing about ourselves, a lot of the most famous songs use I. We also use a lot of I rhymes, like fire, higher, all those words, night, light, you know. So that's actually comprised of two vowels, ah and e. If you say it slowly, I, you'll notice, oh, whoa, I'm really changing vowels. So when we sing, the goal is to really access the roundest vowel that you can in any context at any moment. And to do that, you really end up drastically altering your vowels from your speech patterns. Again, you don't need it like in a low passage that's in a really comfortable part of your voice where you're saying a lot of words. You don't need to think about this, most likely. But when you're singing an extended note and it's on a weird vowel like I, this is a great thing to think about. So the classic example I usually use is Amazing Grace. And I'll be teaching that in the next video in the create portion of this week. But the line in Amazing Grace, I once was lost. So that's a great example because you're going high on this I vowel, and it's crucial to really use that ah, to not just really throw the word I out the window and just sing ah, and then put the E in at the end to have it sound like I. So if I go ahead and just let the diphthong do its thing the way it would in speech, it would sound like this. I once was lost. Now if I use a pure vowel, I once was lost. So it's subtle difference, but this whole chewing on the vowels, that can be a style. There's some really famous singers, like Ani DiFranco comes to mind as a singer who really made her style, or Alanis Morissette. Like their style is that chewy kind of vowel sound where it's like really pronounced, and that's fine. But when you think of like great singers and crooners and people who just are really known for singing well, they're definitely using these pure vowels to get the most out of their tone and range and really support the tone all the way through. So we will be diving much deeper into that, but I just couldn't wait to share those two little tips with you because that's what's coming. Those are some of the most powerful ways to really revolutionize your experience with singing and performance. So I hope you enjoyed this talk, and I will see you in the next video.